How's it going, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a chicken and vegetable suet pudding. Very filling, straightforward to do and extremely tasty. Now you're probably just thinking, oh, suet? What's suet? If you've ever had stew and dumplings, well, the dumplings are made out of suet and flour. Suet is, well, it's the fat that surrounds the kidneys of a cow, and they used suet before lard came along, and it's very tasty. So in this particular recipe I've scaled everything up, because instead of using my normal pot, you may have seen this one if you've watched my jam steam pudding video, well, instead of that everything's been scaled up for a big version, because I'm going to be feeding about 4 or 5 people. However, if you do want the smaller version, I will obviously go over it for what I'm doing now. So if you're just doing a standard, say 2 or 3 people, then it would be 8 ounces of flour, 3 ounces of suet. The butter is just to coat the inside of the bowl, so no butter actually goes into that, just suet, flour, salt, pepper and water to create the dough. So for a small version, it will be a pint of flour, that equates to about 8 ounces, 3/4 of a pint of suet, that equates to about 4 ounces, your salt and pepper for seasoning, and the butter just to coat the inside of the bowl. Now I'm doing the larger version. So in here I've got 2 pints or a pound of flour. In there I've got 4.5 ounces of suet, salt and pepper exactly the same, the butter, I've got my mixed veg. I'm using chicken thighs. Again, I do enjoy using chicken thighs. It's a cheaper cut of the chicken, but there's still plenty of meat on there. So I'll be removing the skin and removing the meat from the bone, and we'll get into that a little later on. Some gravy and a jug of water to make the dough. So let's get into it. First, let's make the dough. So I've got the flour in there. To that I will add the suet. Next I'll add the pepper. Now for the amount of flour that I've got in there, which is a pound of flour, I'm going to put about 2.5 teaspoons of pepper in there, like so. Salt, roughly about the same, about 2.5 teaspoons of salt. Give that a little mix in, bring it all together. Like that. And now we're going to introduce our water and start bringing it all together to make a nice elastic type dough. I put some water in, the messy bit, the fun bit, and bring all that together. You will notice a difference in making this dough when you're using the suet instead of just like a normal dough. It has got a completely different texture to it. It's quite forgiving to work with as well, actually. Let's bring it all together until we have a nice dough, and that's just starting to come together now, as you can see. So I'll carry on with this and we'll get to the next stage. So, well, let's do that. Through the miracle of a little bit of editing, there you have the dough. Nice and elastic. Lovely. It's very good dough to work with. Very good. Okay, so that's the dough. Next, we want to line the bowl. So I'm going to take a little bit of butter, like so, and I'm just going to coat the inside of the bowl with a little bit of butter. Like so. Excellent. Right to the top edge. There we go. Lovely. Okay. Next, I am going to roll out the dough. I'm just going to roll it all out because then I'm going to line that bowl with the dough. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'll get a little bit of flour. Just move the butter out of the way. Nice wide area because we'll need it. A little bit more flour on there. There we go. And I'm going to roll this out. Roll it as much as I can. You don't want it too thick, as I'll show you in a minute when I start lining it, so you can have a look. So let's get to that stage. I'll be back with you in next to no time. And I'm back. And there you have it. So I've lined the bowl with the dough. Not too thick. So I've got the rest of the dough there, which I'm going to use for the top. So I'll have to roll that out in a minute or two to do the top. But first, I want to prepare the filling. So next we're going to do the chicken. Easy to do. So we'll get onto that and start making the filling for this pudding. Next is our chicken thighs. Easy to do. Just take one of your thighs, remove the skin, and it just peels off. Easy enough. Take another one. Like so. Okay, now all I'm going to do is just cut down the one side and the other side and remove the meat and just set it to one side. So a little bit down the middle. You can see that bone there, and I'm just going to follow that line around straight the way through, just like that. And there you go, easy as that. So just turn it over, you can see the line there, and I'm just going to follow that line all the way around. And there you have it. And there's your two pieces. And what I want to do is just cut these into small cubes, about like that, and get the other one. And I will continue to do this with the rest of that chicken. And there's the chicken, all done, cut up, very nice. Now I'm sure you know, but when you are dealing with raw chicken, just make sure you clean off your work surfaces properly with antibacterial spray and salt. Obviously make sure your hands are clean afterwards. I wouldn't like any of my viewers to come down with a case of the 3 bobs. That's not good to anyone, is it? So there we go. Now to the chicken, I'm going to add the veg. Now you can buy your own fresh veg if you want to. It's just going to take you longer, so it's totally up to you. I've got frozen here, so I'm just going to add some of the veg into there and just give it a little mix up. Make sure all that chicken is there. So once it's in the bowl, in the dough bowl I should say, if you need to add a little bit more veg, it's absolutely fine. It's just easy to do it at this stage than in the bowl, just in case you rip the dough, and that wouldn't be too good. So that's nice. Now I shall now put this into the dough bowl, and we'll take it from there. So we're not too far away now, ladies and gents. We're not too far away now. Super. Right, let's start putting this together. So there's our dough bowl. I'm going to place the chicken into there. Chicken and veg, I should say. And push it down nice and firm. Just careful you don't rip the dough. If you do need a little bit of extra veg in there, you just place it on the top, but you just want it nice and firm in there. Okay, that's nice around the edges like that. Lovely, lovely. Right, now do you remember the gravy? I've made myself a little bowl of gravy, and it's nice and thick, nice and rich. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pour that into there. But as a little bit of a cheat, what I usually do is just make a little hole like that, and I'm going to pour it round the edge and into there. Like so. Excellent. There we go. Get it into the edges. Fantastic. Okay. Now this pudding needs a hat. So what I shall do now is roll out that last piece of dough. You can freeze that, by the way, if there's any left over, so don't you worry about that. So I'm going to roll a piece out, and I'm going to place it over the top and just trim around the edges. Now, a good thing to do is just get a little glass of water and just put some water around that edge, because when you put the lid on the top, it'll help it stick down. So that's what I'll do. And the next stage is just wrapping it up in foil, but I'll show you that in a sec. So let's do that. The pudding now has a hat, and there you go. It's nicely stuck down, get my words right, stuck down around the edges. Lovely. Okay, the next thing to do is wrap it up in foil, because this is going to be steamed and should be good. And there's some weight in that now, actually, ladies and gentlemen. You wouldn't want to drop it on your feet because you'd end up with flippers. So let us wrap this tightly with foil. And I'll go over the other way as well. Get it watertight. And that should just about do it. So really push it down onto them edges like that. Okay, now I've got my trusty pot here, and that's going to go into there like so. Now I'm going to fill that halfway with water, put the lid on and let it boil for about 2¼ hours. So you've got plenty of time to do other stuff like sit in the garden or read a book, do some laundry, go for a walk, I don't know, invent something, time travel, take your pick. So I'm going to fill that half with water, pop the lid on and boil it for 2¼ hours, and then I'll get back to you. So as always, let's do that. And time does indeed fly. So it was in 2¼ hours. I've taken it out. When you do take it out of the pot, do be very, very careful. Use an oven glove or a tea towel and just ease it out, because some of the foil that's around will contain hot water. So please, please, please be very, very careful when you take it out of the pot. So remove the foil, and here we go. Now I've placed that onto a tea towel because I'm going to move it to the edge so I can flip it over and make life a little bit easy for myself. Now this is the large version, so it does weigh a lot. However, if you do the smaller version of what I spoke about earlier on, you'll be fine, no worries. But I need to be extra careful with this one because this is probably going to weigh somewhere about 2½ pounds easy. So I'll get my plate and place it on top of there, and I'm going to turn it over and flip it. So here we go. This is the fun bit, and you've got to be very, very careful. Well, I've got to be very, very careful. You haven't, because you're dealing with the smaller version, unless you're brave like me. Okay, I've got it. Here we go. And pop it on. There we go. Ooh. Oh, wow. I could just see some of the juices just start to trickle out onto the oh wow, that smells absolutely gorgeous. Wow, does that smell good. And there you go, there you have it, the monster. Look at that. Now you got all the juices down there, and that's come out of the, obviously the gravy, the chicken and the veg and all that goodness. Look at that. Oh wow, that smells absolutely beautiful. And I'm very, very tempted to, well, I'm not tempted, I'm going to cut a slice. I'm going to cut straight down, and let's open this up and let's let you see. Let you see what's going on. Oh wow. Yeah. I started drooling. Yeah. Feel it cutting through that chicken. All the juices. Oh wow. Look at that. Absolutely, I do love this. In fact, you know what? I'm going to put it on a plate. And I'm going to put it on a plate and I'm just going to put it on its side. Yes. Wow, that's just all that gravy. That's just so, so good. Okay, think quick stew. There we go. There we go. Put that under. Just like that. I'm going to bring it out. If you get a close up on the side, there you go. Look at that. And bring it out. And pop it down. And there you go. Look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? And it smells gorgeous. Oh wow. And inside of there. Fantastic. Oh wow. That is absolutely beautiful. And that's what you want. All that goodness, and I am going to thoroughly enjoy this, and I hope you will too. So if you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. Even better, click subscribe, it would mean the world to me. And I will catch you on the next video. All the best, folks. See ya.